Sorry about that, everyone. I had to do the setup. Welcome and good evening, everyone. My name is Lost Angel, and tonight we are going to play Home. And yes, once again, before everyone says it's an old horror game. Yes, I understand it's an old horror game, but I feel like playing this game and getting it off my checklist. So, without further ado, this is Home. I hope you all enjoy it. I'm going to try my hardest to get as many endings as I can. If I cannot get those endings, please don't be upset. I try my best. So, without further ado, let's jump into this game and see where it goes. And also, please be warned, there are some suicide images and suicide thoughts and suicide stuff that may be shown in the video. If you do see it and if you do get upset, I do apologize. And I understand if you have these thoughts about offing yourself in real life, or if you're upset about anything, I really totally understand. But please, if you're not 100% here or 100% positive or happy with your life, please do not watch this video. Because, I mean, I love you guys. I care about you guys really, really a lot. But unfortunately, I'm not going to stop playing my games just because you guys are, suicidal. And I'm not trying to be harsh and trying to be serious right now. So please, if you get really easily offended or if you're suicidal, please don't watch this video. That's as best as a warning as I can describe and explain to you all. So let's get going. Your game will be saved automatically at certain points. However, we recommend you put aside an hour and a half and complete Home in a single sitting. How about let me do what I need to do, okay? Turn up the sound, turn off the lights. Well, I have no choice, so... all I remember... I'm so sorry, hold on. All I remembered at that point was finding myself alone. Oh, my head. Where was I? It was so dark. There was something by my feet, a flashlight. Oh. Okay. Now, if I gave up now, I would start again from the beginning. Did I quit? No. I just went to the menu, dude. Can I just... No. Okay. That house. Where was I? Oh. There was a body lying on the floor. Who was it? I didn't recognize his face. He was still kind of warm. Okay. Oh! Kitty! Bad kitty. The desk had a computer and some papers on it, and a single drawer. I didn't want to snoop, but did I open the drawer? Yes. Let's snoop. It's either receipts or recipes. Receipts, pens, and a blurry photo looked like a store of some kind. Why did this look so familiar? I really shouldn't have been going through this stuff, getting my fingerprints everywhere. Blood on the wall. It smelled fresh and sickening. I realized there was blood on my shoes and pants. Oh man, I had to get out of there. Oh, if that man died in the hallway, that was the blood doing? Sorry. What was the blood doing there? I don't know, dude. You gotta explain that to me. So, wait a minute. Okay. I noticed that I limped as I moved down the stairs. How did I hurt my leg? I wondered. All I could really recall was coming home, seeing Rachel. I was upset. She looked afraid. I shook my head and tried to clear it. I knew I should head downstairs, try to find a way out. The shelf was full of books, and books on local history and hunting. Seemed like the owner of the house really knew the area. Okay. There were scribbles of all kinds of random scraps of paper and notes about some kind of water tower. Did he mean the one by the old train yard? Okay. An old dining table covered in dirty dishes for 2 people. There were dozens of beer cans and other liquor bottles among the dishes. The smell was turning my stomach. How long had this been here, rotting? The man upstairs didn't look like he'd been dead a long time. A black and white photo looked like the man upstairs and his wife, I guessed. There was no reason for me to keep this. Did I take it? Sure. I slipped the photo into my pocket. Maybe this would help me find some answers. There's only dust on the floor now. A thin gray mouse was stuck in a trap. It looked frantic but exhausted. Did I free it? Sure. A collection of rusty tools. These looked like they'd seen a lot of use and were caked in damp, smelling dirt. Why weren't they in a shed? This was an odd place to keep yard tools. What would they have been used for in here? A photo similar to the old one I picked up. It'd been moved a lot. There seemed to be a switch behind it. Did I push the switch? Yes. It pressed smoothly into the wall. I heard a far away click somewhere. Let's try upstairs. Well, he kind of does look like he's limping. Polly downstairs? Oh God. The door was taped up and seemed to be stuck. By the smell, I guess it led to the kitchen. The switch in the wall appeared to have unlocked the door. The box looked heavy, but there were marks on the floor. It had obviously been moved before. Maybe I have found a way out. I must have moved it right. I heaved the box forward, and it finally gave way. Not yet. There were sheets of paper all over the kitchen table. It looked like a series of names were written down, but they were too smudged to read. I could only make out a few of the notes. Keycard, ochre, last one, I promise. It didn't make much sense at the time. The smell of old dishes and moldy food was dizzying. I looked like hell. My clothes were dirty and torn, and there was mud caked all over my shoes. Had I been sleepwalking again? Was that how I got to the house? The bathroom was spotless. Everything had been wiped to a sheen. I wondered if it was the man's wife who did the cleaning or him. There was a photo deliverment tray lying on the floor. Some leftover negatives were sticking out, but they were pretty blurry. I thought I saw what looked like treetops. Okay. It seemed odd that the tray had been left there, considering how clean the rest of the bathroom was. The front door was blocked by a pile of furniture. I knew I had to find another way out. Okay. Hold on, chat. We're not going to go down just yet. Just want to make sure. I just want to make sure, and then we'll get going. Alright, we checked the entire house, so there's nothing left. So I'm going to go down that area. There was a ladder going underground where the box was. A dank smell rose from the passage. Did I climb down the ladder? Yes. I looked again at the photo I found in the house. The couple looked distant, like they didn't want to be in the same picture. I wondered where the wife was. My leg was in terrible shape, but I had to get out. Places all over were marked on an old map of town. The individual area near the river, various houses, and even the water tower near the old rail station. Hold on, chat. Newspaper clippings from the local paper. They were all about murders in town over the last few years. Wait, there were photos of our house. What the hell was that about? Maybe I should have looked around more, tried to find some kind of information. We did look around. The guy upstairs must have done this, but what was his interest in the water tower? Some of the markings matched the scribbles I saw on the bookshelf upstairs. Oh, Rachel, please be okay. I wanted to rush home, but I had to find a way out first, and I needed to see what else was down here. A work table covered in papers, dirt, and a handgun. I hated guns. I didn't take it, did I? Yes. I tucked the small handgun into my pocket. Its weight was somehow reassuring. Why did I take the gun? It was so dark down there, and the air smelled stale and putrid. I couldn't believe what I saw. What was this place? Ugh. The desk looked old and was caked with grime. On it was a stack of old faded paper, covered with what looked like names. They were scratched out, and illegible notes were written beside them in faded blue ink. I could only make out a few letters. Hey, IV, A, he, R, Alf, O, Wool. None of it made any sense to me. There looked to be bones half dug into the ground, and the remains looked old. The faded clothes that stuck up amongst the dirt looked familiar. They looked like the clothes that woman was wearing in the photo I found. Was this the man's wife? I wonder what would I have found if I had dug deeper. Hold on. Some kind of homemade rack slung together with poorly cut wood and rope. It was caked with old blood. Somebody didn't actually use that, did they? The smell in that room was like Old grease and rot. I wasn't getting any closer to finding anything useful. Crudely made shelves. They looked like they were holding cans of some kind of corrosive. The labels were worn and slick, but I could still see the warnings. The slight fumes that still emanated from the cans made me dizzy. It looked like a cage. It was small, but there was something coating the bottom, something wet. No, you fucking idiot. Go back up. Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get that thing. Footprints in the dirt looked more than one kind and allowed traffic. Whatever this place was, it was obviously used a lot. Oh no, I can't go back up. Those boxes would have allowed me to climb up the ladder again, but I didn't want to go back up there, not with that body, all that blood. I knew I decided to take a look around. Damn it! Dude, you're a fucking fraidy cat. Go back upstairs. Good old-fashioned iced coffee. Some kind of old boxes. They looked like they were years old. Wait a minute. These boxes had old clothes in them. Clothes I remembered throwing out after Rachel and I moved to town. What the hell were they doing there? If I was scared before, I was terrified now. Why were these photos of our house there? And these clothes? Was that why I was there? I checked my back pocket and realized my wallet was missing. Did I come to that house? Or did somebody bring me? Interesting. Whoa. There wasn't anyone there. Was I hearing things? What? I remember noticing the broken ladder. I had to be careful. Okay. Can I... Oh God! There was a rope hanging there. I wasn't sure how sturdy it was. Did I take it? Yes. Maybe the rope would make that broken ladder easier to descend. I have the rope now. There must have been a use for it around here. Okay. Just want to check one more thing and then we'll go. The rope I found would have let me climb down the broken ladder safely. Did I climb down? We got no choice, dude. I could hear a faint hum. The smell from before started to get worse. A bunch of old newspapers, wheat pasted together. A message had been hastily smeared on it. Keep out, danger due to cave in. I wanted nothing more than to get out of there. God, that's so loud. I could still feel a faint impression of the rope I had slid down as I pressed against the heavy metal door. It was probably for the best that I hadn't jumped. The ache in my leg was bad enough as it was. If I could have, though, I would have run straight out of those awful tunnels. Who would keep such a place? At least I thought I had found that old handgun. It seemed to work, and from the smell of it, it had been used already. I kept the gun in my pocket. It seemed a familiar weight there. An exposed ventilation shaft, maybe someone crawled through there. But it was so high up that must have been a sore landing. My leg ached just thinking about it. There was dirt on the ground. It looked wet, and there was grass smeared within it. Odd. There was similar dirt on my own shoes. I could hear a faint trickling sound like water. What was that? A kitchen knife covered in drying blood. Thinking about it made me sick. I didn't even want to touch it. Did I take the knife? Yes, I did. I slipped the knife in my boot. Since I had a gun in my pocket, did I really need all this? Yeah. Protection, baby. The door was locked. There was a musty smell from inside. I wasn't sure, but I thought it was some kind of regulator. I had no idea how it worked. Through the dust, I could see handprints from previous use, probably from whoever worked in those sewers. I wasn't sure what those valves were for. Did I turn it anyway? Fuck, now I'm confused. Fuck. There was a rusty ladder sunk into the water, which smelled disgusting. I knew I couldn't climb down that. Maybe I could find a way to drain the putrid water. Okay, so is there more than one, or is there just 4? Let's check them all again, I guess. So did it, I don't. Okay, I don't understand. Okay, so then I have to drain it then? I really am trying to figure this out, chat. Hold on. Okay, hold on. Let me do my little water thing and then we'll continue on. Okay, so I think we need to drain it. So let me just look like I turn off the water flow in this valve. Okay, so one. Oh God, excuse me, chat. Ugh. I thought I could turn this water valve to shut off its flow. Did I turn it? Yes. Yes. Okay. Next. Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now I think it's off. I'm not dumb, chat. I don't like reading. I like playing my video games. I like playing my games and I like streaming it for you guys. That's the type of person I am. Aha! I is smart. Big brain. Looked like the water drained out of that grate in the wall. There was a small metal key left floating in a shallow pool of rancid water. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the small key, but it was so odd shaped. I had no idea what it might open. Probably upstairs. The safety poster had definitely seen better days. How old was that facility? The faded paper was yellow and dusty, but there it had obviously been wiped off recently. The door was locked. I could see a faint light within. Kind of want to try upstairs. So we tried this. I just remember something being blocked, or the door was locked. There was okay. So not that one. So wait. Hold on a second. There's no other door? That makes no sense. So then it would be going to the exit, going downstairs. The smell hadn't improved much and the room was damp. Okay. We'll try, but this one? There was a security camera in the room. There must have been a way to see what had happened. I couldn't help but wonder if someone was watching me from the other side. I found another dead body, a sewer worker, by the wounds all over his face and body. I figured he'd been stabbed repeatedly. There was a key ring sticking out of the man's pocket. Did I take it? Yes. I thought about the knife I had found with some disgust as I carefully picked the keys from his pocket. I was almost worried he was going to grab me. Oh God, excuse me. I was feeling even more sick from seeing another dead man. I didn't want to get any more blood on my clothes. Dude, I think you have a problem. You need to fucking man up. I could smell a hint of fresh air here. I was anxious to leave, but I couldn't help wonder what that key unlocked. This must have been the other end of the ventilation shaft. Whoever used it could have gotten past that flooded room with this. Clever, but why go through all the trouble? The awkward weight of the gun and the knife made the climb even more arduous. Would I need that gun or that knife on my way home, or was I a fool for picking them up? I wondered what was in that locked room I passed. Should I have gone back to check? What fucking locked room? What? Perhaps it didn't matter. I was so eager to escape, I almost bruised my hand, forcing the latch at the top of the ladder open. As I lifted the heavy lid above me, frantically the smell of that sewer gave way to the dank scent of pine trees. An old ladder leading up to an ancient water tower. The ladder needed to be extended so I could climb it. Did I extend the ladder? Yes. I popped the latch and brought the ladder down. In a patch of smeared dirt and grass, there was a beat-up old wallet. I thought it was mine. Did I take it? Yes. I slid the filthy wallet into my back pocket. I noticed it didn't contain any kind of gun permit. In fact, it didn't contain any cards or ID of any kind. I thought I should recover my credit card and driver's license at least. Did I put this up here, or was somebody else carrying it? Okay. From the railing I could see over the woods and down to the entrance to the sewers. Had I come through there before? If I did, someone definitely could have seen me. It was getting cool up there, and I shivered with an easing sense of what was to come. How did I get home from here? I tried the little key I had fished out of the murky puddle in the sewers. It fit, and he opened the rusty door. The wind was picking up a bit. The night air had becoming strangely chilly. The old train station was quiet as a tomb. The only sound was that of the increasing wind buffering the discrete structure. The ancient ticket booth was falling apart and covered in dust and grime. Sacks of paper lined the counter, faded remains of old schedules and reports. Among the papers were newer-looking sheets covered in scribbles and illegible notes. Come to think of it, the man in that house had kept similar scribbles hidden on his bookshelf, and he had notes on the water tower outside too. I guess he could have been coming here, but why? What was he using this old station for? I couldn't be sure why the man had come to the station before, but it seemed obvious that he had. An old map, encased in glass, hung on the wall. It was the train's routes connected to that old station. As I looked at it, it seemed familiar. Of course, the map I found in those tunnels had similar locations marked, and the notes I found on the other man's bookshelf. His notes mentioned the water tower and even this train yard. What was he doing coming back here? The sorry condition of that place seemed sad somehow, but also ominous. The old train was ripped open, and hanging from a shred of metal, as well as a broken fence, was a dark stained patch of cloth. It seemed synthetic, like some kind of outerwear. Inside the train's shell, I could see a few faint impacts, like wounds. Could they have been bullet marks or somebody shot there? The ground was well worn, though I couldn't really make anything out. I realized I was touching the gun I had found as I fought. It was getting cold out there, and I had to keep moving. This must have been the entrance to the forest that was mentioned on that map I had seen. Whoever was poking around in these tunnels underneath that man's house had scribbled notes on this place, but I couldn't make them out. Here the sign pointed out various campsites and walking paths within the woods. It mentioned a river and maybe a washroom, but the rest was too faded to see clearly. I almost wish I had paid more attention to those crazy scribblings. Oh, God, excuse me. Maybe I would have been less nervous about entering that dark forest. Trampled into the dirt and grass was a plastic card of some kind. I brushed it off and was surprised to see it was my credit card. I wasn't sure if it was still usable, but it was mine. Did I take back my credit card? Yes. I pocketed the credit card. Hopefully, I could find my driver's license too. Through the fence, I could see a dilapidated outbuilding. I wondered if I could find my way around. All I know was I didn't know it was going to take this long. I thought it was going to be quick. There was a fire pit there. It was still a bit warm, and a few embers still burned at the bottom. Was someone else out in those woods? Why did they abandon their campsite? 2 folding camping chairs were on the ground. One was knocked over. There were a couple of cans of beer spilled on the ground. Whoever was here left this place in a hurry, but why? The cheap dome tent slept 2 people. I shone my flashlight inside and could see some bedrolls, 2 backpacks, and a cooler. I felt like if I kept rooting through the campsite, someone would walk in on me. There were some personal effects shoved back into the rock. Wait, there was a notebook there too. Did I read it? Yes. Inside the cheap dollar store notebook was page after one page of names and lists. None of it made much sense. The newest page contained several names: Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, and Rachel. Rachel, her name was last on the list and had a mark beside it in blue ink. The names Daphne and Olivia had been crossed out in the same blue ink. Cheryl, Heather, and Rose had also been crossed out, but these marks looked older and more faded. Yeah, I didn't know this game was going to be long, so maybe I'll just get one ending and then... The grimy sink had a small patch in it that looked almost clean. There wasn't much in the way of clean water there, but the sink did work. A musty wooden plank propped up the stall door. It didn't really seem useful. Did I bother to take it? Yes. I wasn't sure why, but I took the plank. The sign was the same as the first one I had seen. This must have been the exit to the other side of the woods. I didn't know who was camping back there, but I couldn't bear to stick around to look for them. I just wanted to get out of there. I had finally found the exit. Once I left, I knew I never wanted to return there. Through the dense trees, I could finally start to see some light. I must have been at the edge of the forest, though I wasn't sure where the path ahead of me led. I could almost feel the cryptic notebook in my pocket as I tried to think about what it could mean, and where were the campers who had abandoned their sites. Would I meet them too, though the path ahead of me was less dense? I still felt guarded and weary. Who knew what was ahead? As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a mechanist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. I found the body of a security guard, just doing his job, no doubt. His face was covered with blood from some kind of head wound. I wondered what this flashlight was. This his flashlight? Oh my God, I can't fucking read. I wondered, was this flashlight his? Why could I have read that? I saw the blunt wound on the guard's head and looked again at the flashlight I was carrying. Oh no, please. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. First my wallet, and now this. Did I retrieve my watch? Yes. The watch was useless, but I put it on my wrist anyway. I wish I could remember why was all my stuff missing. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around, like someone had been looking for something. Old work clothes had been picked through, and a few photos and notes had been ripped off the door and spread around. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted to the front that said, "Danger, closed for repairs." There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to the other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power. Didn't look like the power was on yet. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. The board contained yellowed clippings of newspapers, newspaper cartons, and notices. There were notes to and from the guys that worked here. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Norman took over a general store after the factory closed. He, Rachel, and I would get lunch every now and then. Rachel liked him because he seemed more positive, despite the setback. I don't think I could say the same about me. The open locker was stuffed with dirty work clothes and old boots. There was a photo of a woman taped to the inside, but it was scratched out, and the face was unrecognizable. That woman's photo, I knew I had to get back to Rachel to find out what happened. It was shut tight. There was a rusty-looking card slot on the side. Our old break table, the layer of dust and grime only made seeing this sting more. Looked like some beer bottles had been used on the table recently. I wondered, was that guard using this as a break room of his own? This was Norman's locker. The door was dented like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when we worked there. My head ached, and I recalled the last time Norman, Rachel, and I all had lunch together. Rachel seemed so much more at ease when we all hung out. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Yes. As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take the card? Yes. I slipped the card into my pocket. From the musty smell, I assumed no one had used this locker for a long time. The key card I found seemed like it would pass through this reader. Did I use the key card? Sure. I slid the card through the old reader and turned the handle. There was some kind of ventilation hatch there. It looked like I could jump to the room below. My leg hurt enough as it was, but I couldn't see another option. Did I jump? No. If I was too... Oh God, excuse me. If I was too chicken to jump down that broken ladder before, why do it now? There had to be another way. Yeah, no shit. The door had somehow locked itself again. There was no key card slot on this side. Fuck! Are you fucking kidding me? Oh shit. Well, I'm an idiot. We all know this, chat. Sure. Oh man, my leg hurt like hell. Yeah, no shit. Limp, you son of a bitch. There was a crumpled up letter on the floor. It had been scratched out heavily, and it was hard to make out. Did I try to read the letter? Yes. Most of the letter was violently scratched out with what looked to be a ballpoint pen. All I could make out was "need to." Just don't drinking need Norman. Who was Norman writing to? That poor guard was the flashlight I carried his. It looked like he had met his end violently. I only hoped it was quick. I had to get home to Rachel, but I couldn't stop thinking about Norman. He and Rachel were friends. Could he help? It wasn't like I really had anyone else to turn to. My leg burned with pain. I only hoped I could find my way through the dark path before me and get to Norman's store. The garbage bin was a disgusting mess of rotten food and slick black bags. I saw a thin greenish corner poking out from one of the bags. It was my driver's license. It looked damaged. Did I take it back? Yes. I cleaned the card off as best I could. It looked pretty beat up. I was amazed to have found my credit card, and now this. I tucked the card into my wallet next to my credit card. Did somebody steal this from me? I wondered why they would have stashed it there. It sounded like it was going to start raining again. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store that he ran. It was oddly quiet. Except for the faint sound of a television. The entrance to the front of the storage was locked from the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. It needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. The TV still flickered some channel. There you go. I couldn't make out what was on the screen, but that glow just gave me the chills. Oh no, I couldn't believe it. What I was seeing. Norman, my co-worker, and one of the few friends I had in this town, lay dead beside his armchair. His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did I close his eyes? Yes. I wasn't sure if I wanted to give him peace, or if I just couldn't stand to think any more about what was going on. Quickly, I closed Norman's eyes. The poor bastard. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. I'd never been to Norman's place before. At least I don't remember doing so. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I didn't. What was this? It looked like a pull chain hanging from the ceiling. I wonder where it led. Did I pull the chain? Yes. I gave the chain a single tug, and a simple folding ladder to the attic popped down. That looks like a creeper's face. That's funny. There was a large cardboard box that hadn't been sealed. Did I open it? Yes. Inside the old cardboard box was a pile of clothes, photos, and even shoes. As I looked closer, I realized they were Rachel's. What were you doing here, Rachel? Were you responsible for poor Norman downstairs? The items in the box only made my head spin more. I desperately needed answers. Ooh, I think we're almost coming to the end. Thank God. I wasn't entirely surprised to find the this. That's not in proper English. To find that this was there. It was one of Rachel's old fall coats. I always wondered what happened to it. Oh, God, excuse me. How long had it been there? There was a little bit of something dark staining the sleeve. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots on the rack was empty. The gun I had found seemed to match the others there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? I guess. I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Norman, what were you doing with all these? Oh, I needed to check that place out to see if I could find Norman or get help. I used a hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. Of course it did. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I meant canned goods, not foods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if we needed anything. The register was mostly empty, and a flat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. Were you thinking of going somewhere with Rachel, Norman? The icebox seemed to be unplugged. It must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. What was the matter, Norman? Cheated on your hydro bills too? Oh. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Of all the postcards, that one seemed to be the most popular. There were only a few left. It had been weeks since I'd last seen Norman, and finding him that way still left me cold. Thinking of him slumped against that chair only cemented my reassurance in getting rid of that gun. It looked like someone had taken that piece from his store, but why was it in those tunnels? As I stepped outside, I recalled that dusty old box of clothes in Norman's attic. I felt like I had only discovered more questions to answers, but I was close to home. It was time to find out the truth. Okay, I don't remember which ending I want to show. I'll probably have to do that ending then. The neighborhood's local post box. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I look at the letter? I hate doing that, but I got no choice. The envelope was addressed to Norman. There was no return address, but the handwriting looked familiar. I took a deep breath and tore open the package. Norman, I'm sending this to you in a letter because I'm afraid to tell you this in person. What we did, well, it was wrong. My husband isn't an easy man to be with, but he is my husband and your friend. I need some time to sort this out away from you both. I'm going away for a while. I'm going to tell him. Norman, so don't you think you can hold that against me? Maybe we'll work it out. I'm not sure. I even want to, but he deserves at least that much. Goodbye. I didn't know what to think. My mind was racing, my heart pounding. I had to get home. I just had to. So she was cheating on him. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my bones. Wait. My clothes, sorry. I was expectant, but also afraid. I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. Oh, God, excuse me. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? The table was clean. It hadn't been used any time recently. There was a small pile of mail on the floor in front of the mail slot. How long had I been away? Why hadn't Rachel picked this up? Most of the contents were bills. There was a credit card bill there. Did I open it? Yes. I ripped the bill open and read it. To my surprise, it said something about canceling my credit card due to non-payment. What the hell? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though I needed to see if Rachel was here. Okay. The door to the basement, it was locked. Where had I put the damned key? The door was stuck shut. There was an old fashion keyhole underneath the handle. Okay. I have found the last missing piece from my wallet. The old photo of Rachel, and I stared back at me. Or it stared back, I don't know. Reminding me of better times. It didn't make me feel terribly comfortable. Did I keep it anyway? Yes. I replaced the photo in my wallet, feeling like I had got part of my life back. Why can't I speak English tonight? Still, the image made me uneasy. Why had I thrown it away? Maybe I had dropped it there? Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it after, but by then it was too late. Rachel was pretty angry about that, I realized. Man, the music is ominous. I'll give it that. Our hallway mirror had been smashed into pieces scattered around the floor. I couldn't really make myself out anymore. I wasn't sure I wanted to. Our sink, which needed to be replaced, one of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. That old house was charming for sure, but it wasn't always easy. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. It seemed impractical at times, but it was part of what made that house home. My laptop had been left on and only had a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old water tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Did I take it? Yes. I pocketed the key. The laptop was warm. It had been running for a while. The books, they were half mine, half Rachel's. Now that I looked more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books as I did. One book in particular seemed a bit odd. I remembered owning it, but not that edition. My wife's Rachel's suitcase was sitting on the bed. It was closed, but I had a feeling what was in it. Did I open it? Yes. Rachel's suitcase contained clothes, toiletries, and a train ticket. Is that what you were going to do with Norman? Rachel, why? Were you really going to run away with Norman? Was I really such a monster? Okay. Wish I could run. That'd be nice. Okay. I unlocked the basement door. There were old Christmas decorations in the box. I couldn't even remember our last Christmas. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key there. Here, sorry. Did I take the key? Yes. I took the small key and tried to remember what it unlocked. Looked like there was plaster and an old trowel in here too. Looked like there was... Oh, okay. There were old clothes, tools, and other things we obviously hadn't thrown out yet. We had way too much junk. I had put up this divider wall last summer so we could create a separate room in the basement. I hadn't finished it yet, so the door was stuck and the drywall was poorly installed. I might have been able to break through if I found something heavy enough. The grimy key I had found in the basement unlocked the door. It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? There was an old crowbar. Oh my god. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? Yes. I lifted the heavy crowbar. I appreciated its weight. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? Yes. With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. This was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. Don't look. A filthy-looking pile of rags had been dumped in a corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile, to see what lay within. But I knew I had to. I had come this far. After all this searching, after all I had seen, when I looked within the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? Oh no, my hands trembled as I pulled back of the layers of cloth. There at the center, under all the dirt and mess, was my beloved Rachel. Oh, wait. My Rachel. Her arms were bruised all over and slashed repeatedly. Her clothes were ripped and torn. And even through all that sickening blood, it was obvious she had been stabbed to death. The knife I had carried all this way certainly seemed like a poison. What had happened, Rachel? Who did this to you? I thought about all I had seen and wondered if any of it could help me figure out who had done this. And when I couldn't stay there any longer, I stepped away on shaky legs and made my way back upstairs. Exhausted from my journey, I could no longer resist the urge to close my eyes. Okay. Maybe I would use some of Rachel's travel books and find some place to go. No matter what, I needed some kind of escape. It was my wallet with its contents intact. Either I dropped that stuff or somebody else did. Maybe I was sleepwalking again, or maybe somebody stole it from me. Norman's store, that forest, the water tower. Was I at those places before? I didn't see how it could have happened any other way. I must have been the one to lose my wallet and its contents. But what does that mean? That was decided. This was an old photo of that other man and his wife, I assumed. I found it in their house. I recalled those faded remains I had found deep underneath his house. What had he done there? Well, what did I think? Was that man involved in this whole mess somehow? I don't know. I wasn't sure, but the poor old bastard was good and dead. He was a victim, not a criminal. But who had killed him? Within the few broken pieces that remained of that mirror, I could see my face had grown pale and weak. I couldn't bear to look again. It was like I didn't actually expect a reflection. I felt empty and drained. Perhaps I would never know how that mirror came to be broken. Was it by Rachel's assailant or by Rachel herself? The thought lingered and would haunt me forever. The reflection in that grimy glass was only a shadow, a whisper. The quiet in that room unnerved me terribly. I still loved the old-time charm of that claw-footed bathtub, though it seemed like cold comfort then. Rachel loved this part of the house. It was the keycard I found in the factory, the one that allowed me to slip through that door. It seemed to me that it was probably Norman's, but if that was true, what was he doing back at the plant? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? No. Someone was going through those lockers, sure, but I didn't think it was Norman. I had made up my mind. Okay. The laptop had finally run out of power. How long had it been left running? Okay. Let me check how long I've been streaming. Oh, about an hour and 32 minutes. My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other important documents in it. It used a digital passcode lock, but I didn't have the code. Maybe I had left it somewhere. I leafed through the notebook I had taken from the forest. In it were the names that had been written down. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose, Rachel. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk. Deep within those musty tunnels, was the man in that house really up to something? Was he the one responsible for Rachel's murder, but I had found him dead? was the letter I had taken from the post box. Rachel, were you really having an affair with Norman? But why? I didn't think things were that bad. In the letter, Rachel seemed concerned. She almost seemed worried of what Norman might do. Did he do that to Rachel? No. Norman may have betrayed me, but I didn't think he was capable of that. I hated him. I hated him so much, but I couldn't blame him for what happened to my wife. I didn't know what to think. I just wanted to put this whole mess behind me. From now on, I have no one to get angry with me for stupid things like buying this TV. Just thinking about things like that made me sick with grief. It seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. Well, I kind of want to get that code first. The mail still sat there heaped on the floor. How long had Rachel been lying in the basement? It seemed like that mail had been there for a while. There will be no more dinners here, no more chit-chat over breakfast, at least not for us. I couldn't recall when I last ate, but I wasn't hungry in the least. If I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place and do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? Yes. I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. I stepped down on the floor where I had placed the knife. Is this what it all really came down to? Okay. I needed to put an end to this situation one way or another. Okay. Oh, are we going to get that cutscene I'm thinking about? Well, it's either... Okay. I knew I needed to escape that nightmare, but what about the knife I still carried? I wondered, even if I left, would it really be over? So did I leave the house for... Oh. I peered at the knife as I turned away. A warm place I had thought. Where could that be? Oh, so they're going to give us that ending. I think it matters in the decisions you pick and where you go, or like how you decide, actually. I just wish I could remember the code. I need to remember, is it upstairs? The top floor? I think it is. I think I'm just going to do this ending because I don't really have that much time. Okay, I'll probably... The old claw-footed bathtub hadn't been cleaned nearly enough. Still, it would probably do. If I wanted to, I could use that knife to finally end this. The question was, did I think I deserve it? Did I? Was this my fault? Did I deserve to die? Yes. Living in this town hadn't been easy. The plant had helped in some way to stay grounded. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. I had MRIs and piles of doctors' reports, but nothing seemed to help, not even drinking. But I swear I had tried to give it up. I know it. The sleepwalking never really went away, though. But I know Rachel had tried. I know she had tried to be there for me, even when everything was falling apart. This night had unearthed terrible truths, but I knew it was a final act of a long-standing horror I'd been living. Waking up in that house tonight was the final cruelty. I wish I had remained unconscious in that room forever. I wasn't sure what had happened to that other man I had found in that house. He seemed to me more a victim, but what was his role in all of this? And what was hidden within those sewers I had found? The tunnel to the man's house obviously led there, but was there something I missed? I had found the contents of my wallet scattered throughout town. Why the hell had I been out there? Had my sleepwalking gone to some new extreme? The thought that I couldn't account for my whereabouts, but knew I had been to that forest and even Norman's place, well, it was terrifying. I didn't know what that meant, but at least I had recovered my things, hopefully. I thought that would cover my tracks, so I wouldn't be blamed for all this. Deep within those woods, though, was where things became truly awful. Finding that notebook only made things worse. Rachel's name had been on that list, so what terrible plot was she a part of? There was a similar list of names on that desk back in those tunnels. What was the connection? One thing I could be sure of, despite my confusion, I knew Norman hadn't been the one who was going back to our old factory. Law reading. He couldn't have been responsible for that dead guard then. I could take some solace in that. After the factory, I thought I might find some solace if I could just get to Norman's store. But all I had found were more horrors and more questions. Now that I really consider it, that's when I should have seen it coming. Norman, what were you and Rachel up to? It was obvious things were more complicated than I'd ever imagined. How long had you been going behind my back? More importantly, why, Norman? Whoever had killed Rachel had probably gone after you too. Maybe they knew about what you were up to. I would never know peace, Norman, but despite your transgressions, a part of me really did hope that you would. When I had marched through the rain towards home, I desperately clung to the hope that this would end, and I guess in a way it did. But how could I have known how hopeless it all was? I have started to feel as disoriented as when I sleepwalked. To think of it now. Our house used to feel so lively, so warm, but coming into the kitchen, I felt only a cold, empty tension. Every terrible thought I had up to that point was suddenly a possibility, but nothing could have prepared me. My wife dead, ruined, discarded. Rachel's death was a terrible mystery to me, one that would haunt me forever, but unless I did something about it. For what solace can a man take in the death of his wife? What comfort can be offered? Rachel had been taken from me, and I might never know why. I put the knife down and drew a long, warm bath. Slipping into the tub, I was surprised with how calm I felt. I heard it was like going to sleep if you did it right. So I held my arms under water as I made the incisions, though the intentional sting came as a shock. It was only a matter of minutes before I felt myself ebb and fade. After that, the room washed to a calming comforting shade of gray. All right, everybody, that was Home. And unfortunately, I wish I could do more of the endings. But I think, so what I'm going to do something a little different, because Home is such a really unique, I'm going to read exactly what it says there, but this is my own opinions and thoughts. Home is such a unique horror game that it really deserves a lot of praises, and I'm kind of sad that not a lot of people know about this game, not a lot of people play this game, not a lot of people heard about this game actually, but it really intrigued me because it's one of those really old-fashioned looking games, and it's where you can actually see the character and it's really zoomed in. I'm not really good with words for this, but I really like Home a lot, so I've decided I showed you one of the endings. The next ending I'll show you next week on Friday. So for now, this is probably going to be the first death ending episode of Home. I guess that's the best way to describe it. Next week I will play another ending. Hopefully it's better than this one. But as always, I hope you all enjoyed this. We are going to continue playing more spooky horror games. Part of the Shocktober month. And please remember, we are going to go from September into October all the way up till the day I go in for my surgery. So if you are interested in any of my content, or if you are curious to why I've suddenly vanished all of a sudden for a couple of weeks, well, that's right. That answers your question. As always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. You will be notified when I go live. You will be notified of new videos. You will be notified when I leave comments or some stuff in the community panel. If you like this video, please remember to give it a like. Leave a comment. I love reading your comments, everybody. It lets me know that you love my content, you love my videos, and you love to continue watching me do these videos. So as always, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please, there are many different videos for you all to go and watch. So feel free to go do it now, whenever you have free time. Take care, everybody.